good evening, and welcome to We Won't Finish This podcast. This is where we write movie or pitch movies to each other that we'll never make. I'm Zeebs. Wow. I'm Spaceman. This is Zeebs. I promise I practiced this right before this. Why don't you go ahead and tell them where they can find us?
You're going to get through this.
I will.
You can listen on Spotify, Apple Music, Google Music, and anywhere you get podcasts. You can watch our live streams on Twitch and YouTube and hang out in the chat. If you're here right now, hello.
Hello.
Please check us out on social media. We're on most platforms. That's the best way to find out when we'll be recording our next live stream. And you can find all those links at linktree/WWFTpod. Now, tonight, we got something special going on. We have our first guest, a third mic, and it's my buddy Savage right here in the referee shirt.
Zeebs, Spaceman.
Howdy.
He's pitching us a movie, so Spaceman and I don't have to have any notes at this point.
Which is refreshing for us.
Which means we only had one small job, the social media and the intro.
And we botched one of those.
Yep, sure. So, we're going to get into it. Savage I've known for years. He's a good buddy of mine. Very funny. Has a similar background, I guess, with writing and sketches and things. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Creative background. Whenever there was like a project in school or whatever, if I could choose to make a video, I would try to do that. But nowadays, don't have a lot of time for that kind of stuff. But tonight I've got a movie that I've been personally would want to see, and it's kind of based on some of my background of what I did growing up, and as far as I know, nobody else has made a movie yet about this topic, so I'm excited.
So far,
about that.
I feel like it's going to be about Bret Hart becoming a referee after the Goldberg incident. That's some background there, but just from the looks of it. But continue.
All right.
All right. So I'm always been interested in people's hobbies, how you choose to spend your time. Okay. And so something that you might dedicate most of your spare time to, or free time, something might not even be on someone else's radar. You know what I mean? So basically, there's a lot of different hobbies out there. There's a lot of ways that people spend their time, and one thing that you guys or people out there might not know about is the title of my movie is called Floor Hockey, Sport of Kings.
I like it already.
Okay. All right.
So this is going to be a mockumentary style sports comedy.
Okay.
And so basically, I don't have the resources or the time to try to actually make this movie.
Yeah.
But I think it'd be fun to see. So,
you said based on your background. I want to get into that.
Yeah, let's explore that.
I want to hear your background.
I did play floor hockey for several years, and
so about what age?
Afterwards, well, we'll get into that.
Oh, okay, all right.
We'll get into that.
A little more complicated than I thought.
So, and then afterwards, go on to be a referee for years after that. So,
okay, that's the road.
The excellence of officiating.
That's right. So floor hockey, if you're not familiar, it's basically boils down to kids running around in the gymnasium.
I am very familiar with floor hockey.
Well,
I love
not
floor
everybody
hockey.
would be. So
it's just trying to
I'm
get kids to
excited
not
for this
hit
one.
each other in the face with
you
sticks.
got plastic sticks, plastic pucks, and they do wear helmets and stuff like that. But
yeah.
So there's a big age range. You go from the youngest division, I think is 6 to 8 or something, and it goes 9, 10, 11, 12, 12 to 13, 14.
Oh yeah,
So,
I have a little teeny story here. It definitely goes into high school.
yes.
This ear right here, you might not be able to see it, but I actually have a scar where I think it was either 7 or 11 stitches in my ear because I was a freshman in high school and a bully senior checked me into the corner of a brick wall in floor hockey and tore my ear right there.
Yeah.
I definitely hit him in the back with the floor hockey stick, which I still feel good about.
So this is gonna
tiny bit of background. I feel like I have something to contribute here.
Excellent.
Yeah, this sounds like a blood, sweat, and tears story.
So yeah, floor hockey, Sport of Kings.
Okay.
Clearly. All right.
So, this is a low level of cost entry sport. So, it takes place at like a community center where
somebody just has a yardway spin full of sticks, and they pull them out.
yeah, basically, like it's sponsored by the city or whatever, and then
If somebody forgets those, they grab the brooms. I kid you not.
right.
Like, that's what happens.
You've seen it.
Yeah, I had a broom ball trophy.
So floor hockey, like at its most exciting, it's only like moderately impressive at best, right?
Could be pretty
it's
exciting.
not really like
Yeah.
it can be fast paced, especially the older kids get pretty into it, But like the younger kids, they're pretty slow. They don't really understand the rules. They're not very coordinated.
Oh yeah, my 5-year-old's in t-ball, and it's chaos.
Oh yeah. So floor hockey is a fun sport like that for kids to get into. I remember. So basically, this is how it starts out. The new family moves to town, okay, and it's gonna be like dad and mom and maybe like 2 sons, and the oldest one really wants to play ice hockey, okay. So they just moved into town. It's not really in the cards financially, for ice hockey.
Yeah, it's
so
expensive. It
kind
is.
of like, what can we do? Dad takes the kid down to the community center, and they check out the floor hockey team. So they kind of show up right before like the preseason would have started,
Yeah.
right? So,
Okay, do we have professional? I mean, like, local, like they actually have uniforms and stuff. Like, I just want to make sure I'm picturing this right.
So this is going to be the good guy team, and they are from the local community center, and they're basically like kind of a ragtag group of
course.
misfits. They've been around they've been a team together for several years,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
they're kind of grown accustomed to losing. They're not very good. They're not very organized, and so dad and the new kid shows up. And the kid's skeptical. He's like, I want to play ice hockey. What are we even doing here?
Yeah.
And so
It's what we can afford, Junior. Get in.
Yeah, right. Within a few minutes, the team of kids has roasted the head coach so bad that he just gets furious and quits on the spot. Okay?
So wait, like the kids are just like making fun of him?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What, is there any
About what?
reason?
Yeah, I'd
just
like to know.
because they're like clowning around and it's funny, and the coach.
Oh, and
is
he's
gonna
he's
be
like, knock it off, and they're just like, yeah, shut up.
Yeah,
Yeah, nice
basically,
high pants.
Okay.
He's lost it. He can't
Yeah.
handle it anymore. Quits on the spot. And so the new kid looks up at his dad, and he's like, see, man, like, I told you this was going to be lame or whatever.
Even
And
the
Dad's
coaches
like,
are pussies.
Yeah. Dad's like, no, this is my chance. I'm going to step up. I'm going to be the head coach.
Okay.
This is his time to shine.
Yes.
So the dad, he's going through his own struggles.
Dad knows
All
nothing
right.
about Florida.
Can
This
the
is his
dad
first
be Emilio
entry-level
Estevez?
experience, too. That's
It's a little on the nose.
I know, but can we picture him as Emilio
let's put it this
Estevez?
way: it's a little on the beak.
a little on the beak, but can we picture him as Emilio Estevez? Is there anything
all right, so
stopping
the
me from
community
doing
center
that?
Ducks.
I
And
didn't get a no.
they are actually haven't settled on
Let's work it
names.
out.
So, I'm still going to call them like the good guys, right? So
All right.
the good guy team, it's community center kids, and then so the antagonist would be like there's always one team that's
Team Iceland?
like way better than the rest. They stand
Oh
out
yeah,
like in higher
the
skill.
black jerseys.
Yeah.
They're intimidating.
This is not that movie, but yes. So basically, they're better trained. They maybe like have more money or whatever. They're more organized.
All right.
And so they're
And at one point, the guy goes to drive his limo out onto the floor hockey
I have no
rink.
idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, Wolf the Dennis Stanson
He
doesn't
went to
show
drive
up
the
at any
limo
point,
out
right?
onto the rink, and he goes, "No, trust me, it'll hold. I grew up on floors."
So floor hockey, you get people from all different kinds of like parents, kids,
Yeah.
families, and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And some people get really into it. And if you got maybe like one kid on this team, a younger
Yeah,
sibling,
the whole
on the other
community
team,
comes
you're gonna
together
be
for
out
floor
there for
hockey,
like the whole weekend.
but at the same time doesn't show up.
You have feuding dads from
And
like
so-
rival teams.
Well, yeah, I mean the parents end up getting into it even more than the kids. It seems like sometimes, And so, let me tell you, like, being a referee is not easy because no matter what call you make, half the room hates you.
Did you ever have to eject a parent?
Oh man, I'll get it. We'll get into that. Okay?
All right.
Okay. I feel like this is just autobiographical at this point.
It's very much based on
like, this is
true
to the heart.
experience.
He's like, this is just my diary from
Yeah.
2004.
Very much. So, some families are dedicated. We're talking like every weekend they're out there like.
Everyone's
This is how
gathered
they
at the
spend
community
their
center.
time. Right.
They're watching.
yeah.
They
Now,
cooked up a pot of chili. They're tailgating out in the parking lot.
Do we
The
have any
grandparents
team
come and
names?
stuff.
Right.
Like, it's exciting.
So I have not settled on team names. I wanted
Okay.
this to kind of be like a writers, like open to
Okay.
a writers round here. So
Because I would love
if
to
you have
name some of these teams.
suggestions, Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got the good guys, the community center kids. Maybe like the community center.
So they're the local. That's like the
Yeah.
neighborhood. We live right by the community center. We rode our bikes here. We love floor hockey so much.
Yeah, maybe
Showing up,
like,
having fun, right.
Like mom's got to go to work, drop off the kids at the community center, and
Yeah.
pick you up later. So, and then we've got the bad guys, the antagonist team that are like already established, like dominating the league where
They've won the last.
Yeah.
Like, you go to the community center, maybe that has the
They've got
banner
the
hanging.
the
Yeah.
banners,
And it's
the
like
biggest trophies,
the last
they're
7
just
years.
bragging about
Yeah,
it, man.
it's like a group of like 50-year-old men
Yep,
playing
so
in like the
they're-
7-year-old
these
league.
those are the rivals.
I also
right?
feel like they're like skateboarding and smoking cigarettes in the parking lot of the community center. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
so-
maybe a little older looking, a little
They don't
more
have to present
intimidating.
their ID when they buy beer.
Yeah, they at least have one guy that he can do it.
So there's like preseason tournaments, there's regular season games, there's postseason, even like international tournaments where teams will travel to like go.
Oh yeah, the big
and you're-
leagues.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Make it
and
far.
you're like renting hotel rooms, or it's like a whole ordeal, right?
That would be the rock and roll lifestyle part of it. I think it would get a little crazy on that bus.
It's
What age? What you decided? What age this kid is?
so this kid is going into the oldest level. This would be like 13, 14 years old. So
Okay.
these teams have been around for a while. They're familiar with the sport, and the speed is like, they're up there. They're quick. They're more aggressive. They're
Yeah.
kind of more into it than say like the 8-year-old age range where they're like,
Yeah, these kids at
just
least
there
know
for the
how to
snacks,
shoot, and pass the ball. The other ones are just like
Yeah.
just
right. We're familiar
hitting
with
each
the
other
rules,
with the sticks.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we're it can get pretty aggressive. So the antagonist team, they make it look easy. The community center team, they're like the underdogs. That wish it would it'd be nice to know what a win feels like once in a while.
Of course.
So the there's also like this the older brother. I say the little brother would join like the younger team, so that way you kind of get the dynamic of like this is the fast-paced one. We've also got like the little
Okay.
kids
Okay.
No, that's good.
Two different leagues going. Yeah.
You kind of come back and forth, but they could essentially be the same. The little brother and the big brother, they're coming from the same community center, same area. They're wearing the same jersey essentially, so it's kind of like the same. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It could be kind of
the
portrayed that
same
way.
team could have multiple age groups.
Yeah,
or
they're in
whatever.
each
Yes.
group. Well,
Yep.
the team, it would be a sponsor. Usually, it's either like a local business or it could be that community center, and you're playing against other areas or something.
In the community center team, they've got like the hodgepodge equipment. Like the jerseys are like
Yeah.
pieced back together. The stuff's falling apart basically, and the other teams got like nice professional jerseys.
Sponsors.
They're sponsored.
Yeah.
Like make it look so cool. Whatever, everything like that.
I'm trying to look. Well, it was dodgeball, but what was Ben Stiller's team of like
The average Joe.
The-
and
yeah,
then
average Joe's
Globo
Gym. Yeah, that's what it was. Okay, sorry. Like it is reminding me a bit of that. Obviously not the same because we're not going to have Ben Stiller at the end. I don't know if anyone's seen that end
Yeah,
credit scene.
totally
It's not
different
pleasant.
sport. So not unrelated.
With the pizza?
Yes, with the
I haven't seen
pizza.
it.
Yeah, it's bad. Don't watch it.
I liked it.
So dad decides he's going to coach the team. Doesn't know what he's doing. They get into this preseason tournament, and
So the ragtag team you're saying is now
Coached by the
almost
dad.
Yes.
doing worse.
new dad.
Yeah.
Doing worse. Maybe that's what's pissing off some of the parents. Is that they're just kind of like, this fucking new guy. At least last time my kid got 1 goal that season.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
okay.
saying?
I
I feel
like
like that. I feel like that would be
This Emilio Estevez.
so.
fuck.
So you got a lot of struggles. You got the kid who's young enough that he doesn't even know the game. He doesn't know what he's doing. Maybe the older brother, he's serious about it. He wants to win. He's got a more competitive spirit. The young kids are just running around, hitting each other with sticks and bumping heads and stuff. And then you have the dad who, I think he's the one with the feud, but it's with many dads.
Yeah.
You know, that are in the crowd
to shine here.
Well, and then he's new in town, so I think this comes down to him, like in a grocery store, like getting shit talked, because the whole town knows that he fucked up. You know, the last.
Well, I thought also maybe it'd be cool to have like another dad who like steps up to be like assistant coach or whatever. So you do have like a little bit of help, but maybe neither of them really know what they're doing.
Maybe he gets doxxed and people just keep sending him like flooring. Tell him get a little more familiar. You hack.
Sorry, go ahead.
So get into the preseason tournament and they get their asses kicked pretty quickly. You know what I mean? They're real unorganized. They don't know what they're doing. So the team's feeling real deflated. Coach does too. But through the murmurings or whatever, he hears legend of like the greatest floor hockey coach who may still be around somewhere,
who has a dark story, I'm sure, of why he won't play floor hockey.
He's very jaded against the sport now. He's hung up his gloves and
he's living in the woods. And
get the hell out of here, kid. I gave up floor hockey years ago.
Too many sticks in the woods. Right. He wouldn't want to be around that.
You quit now. It'll just break your heart.
It'll consume you. I warned you.
A slap shot that killed the love of my life.
So yeah, we've got like the main team that's like the older kids. There's also like the younger kids you can see, and it kind of goes back and forth from like how epic it feels like they're doing, and then you get like a zoomed out frame of like what actually took place, and it's like so much more slow moving.
Yeah. No, that's good. I like that because it would be because it's what the kid experiences. Like I watch my kid, his imagination, he is being chased by a tiger or something, just running around the yard. So playing this game and knowing like we got to win this, and then you get the goal. No matter how sloppy it really happened, a child's gonna be like
ballistic.
They're gonna carry that for a minute of like, I am fucking Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah,
you know.
So side story arc, we've got the kids that play, we've got the parents, we've got the coaches. The referees are gonna be like the group of like slacker, stoner.
The referees?
Yes.
Okay.
Referees are going to be like the kids that are too old to play now, but still, like, you can actually make decent money.
Yeah,
as a referee.
I had buddies that umped like Little League games, and you just got paid per game, and it was something you could do at like 14
with these like
years
weekend
old.
Tournaments, you might do like 20 games back to back to back,
So do you think that the refs even have any, like when they walk out of there, are they even just like, oh yeah, that team is really crushing it this year, or do they like they just don't give a single shit?
I think it's kind of a combination of both. So like they're gonna be like, when the puck goes out of bounds, you got to throw a puck back in to play. They're like faking the kids out, like
oh yeah.
Okay,
You're just kind of just
but
like.
Also, they're having a lot of fun with it, but they're not taking it real seriously either. So maybe like. Missed an important call because he's like talking to somebody over here, or in the stands or whatever. Yeah. So that's just like a side.
I've had jobs where I worked with many friends, like in high school stoner days, and you would we were all working today, and you meet up and you smoke a fat blunt, and then you go into your job, and everybody's high, and like so I can see it well, of just these refs that they don't care. They're, what team are you doing? I don't know. We want to switch, just nobody cares.
Right. So I think that would be a funny dynamic to explore too. Like a Stony McBlaze, like whoa type of guy that
Shaggy from Scooby-Doo showing up in the striped shirt.
Well, maybe the refs are still impressed by the legendary guy, the hero.
Well, we gotta track down the legendary guy.
Well, I think they're the ones that saw him. Maybe they were younger and they saw him when he was coaching or something.
Yeah, and they know the incident that caused him
the slap
to
shot.
give it up.
The tragedy.
Yeah.
There's just this tragic incident. I picture him just super old and grizzled, like, get out of here, kid.
Right. He somehow burnt down the old community center with a slap shot.
I'm a wanted man.
the legendary coach, he's got to make an appearance, right? He's got to like reluctantly agree to help Dad and the team out and show them like the best like training techniques and stuff. And
Yeah, he's got a mentor.
Get them on their way here, right?
Yeah. Now the dad here, what's his financial situation? Like I guess we already did say like he doesn't really have any money.
Yeah,
That's why
he can't
we're doing
afford
floor
ice
hockey.
ice hockey. So yeah.
So I'd say like, is he getting some kind of machine that like shoots pucks that they have to like,
I think he's doing the best with the limited resources.
just out in the
that they've
garage.
got. There's no way that he can compete with the global.
Yeah, Team Iceland.
I'm also picturing the wife being like really supportive at first, but now the dad's coming home like stressed out about the game, and she's just like, Jesus Christ,
Right.
Like,
So
who cares?
yeah, she's kind of like on the back burner.
He was like, it's really great you're doing this, and then after like 2 games where it
He's
goes
like,
bad,
it's
and he's
really
like punching the
into
counter,
it, and like
he's just like,
spending most of his time doing this now. And so the regular season, they make improvements. They make a vast improvement throughout the season, rising to second place behind the bad guys.
Okay. Well, what are some pivotal moments? Do we have any like examples, some crazy plays or anything they pulled off? Like, do we have any specific moments like this is the turning point?
All right,
like
so
this right here.
So like as into it as the kids get, I told you, man, the parents are worse, right? And so they will like just badger the referees, and like everyone wants their kid to win, and like,
Of course.
like, hey, you're calling too many on our team. What are they paying you, to throw this game? It's like, get out of here, dude. Are you kidding me? So literally, I watched this girl, this referee. She has like a mental breakdown, dude. She just had enough. The parents were badgering her.
they broke her.
It was one of those situations, and she with the whistle in a gymnasium full of like 8-year-old kids and all their parents, double bird, middle finger, just blowing the whistle,
Blowing a whistle.
all you guys, and just having like a meltdown. And I thought that would be a hilarious moment for like one of the other refs to like fall in love with, you know what I mean? Like,
Oh, they loved it.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's just like being
no,
like,
I love that.
dragged off of the court, and like it's like he's like seeing stars now.
It's like
all of a
she
sudden.
did it.
Yeah, right.
She fucking called
this
him
is
out.
the woman I've been in love
Yeah.
I don't know why. I think there's another funny one here too, like where like if they're yelling at the referees, they're like, "Hey ref, you need to get your eyes checked." And he's like,
Yes.
pulls out his phone, looks at it, it's like at the self cam, like, "Oh man, they're really red." Look at some visor, It's like, "Hey, thank you."
Oh, yeah, he gets paranoid.
It's like, "Oh man, I am really blazed. I probably didn't see
Yeah,
that."
he's like, you need to get your eyes checked. And he's like, oh fuck, and just starts like,
Yeah,
won't make
Oh.
eye contact with anybody.
That's great.
Sneaks off, does some eye drops.
Yep. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
So there's certain like penalties that you would call, that the referees would call for.
Oh, do they have a penalty box?
There is a penalty box. You might have a 1-minute penalty, 2-minute penalty.
Can there
if
be-
it's really serious?
Can there be a kid that's just literally doesn't leave the penalty box and he's just in there smoking cigarettes?
Yeah, just like the goon of the team.
Yeah,
Yep.
he's like clearly like 3 years older than everybody on his team, but
Yep,
he's in
there
their
he goes
grade.
again. High stick Steve.
Yeah, they do it by grade or something.
Yeah.
So he's just like he's been held
He's been
back.
held
He's just
back and
he's
held
just
back.
sitting in there like giving like life advice.
They won't notice the elbow if you go at him like this.
Yeah, so
Apparently,
as
he's the
far
same
as
as
like
the coach.
the plays,
voice.
Never got a penalty that wasn't on purpose.
there would be, I'm sure there would be like some, like annexation of Puerto Rico type special play that they pull out, like Little Giants at the end of that movie. or
God, I don't
whatever.
even remember that one.
Oh shit. Okay, so basically, like
Little Giants is the snot bubble,
They
and
had, like, the
the
master
football got
plan,
stuck in the helmet. That's
basically.
all I remember.
Al Bundy was in it, right?
Yes,
Okay.
I think so.
All right.
Right?
Yeah.
He was.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
I've seen it. I just don't remember it. Was it like the little girl wanted to play football and he's like, and then she did anyways? Like,
Yeah.
Is that okay? All right. I
Yep.
got it. I remember.
Rick Moranis was in the.
Oh, that's
Oh,
right. Rick
okay,
Moranis was
okay.
in it.
I don't know if I actually saw the movie. I think everything I named was in the trailer.
All right. So this
Yeah.
is not that movie. This would not be.
Well,
Right.
it is funny. I just wanted to say, like, so it's funny that just because it's on a floor and not on ice, it loses so much credibility where, like, even as a kid, you would watch this and you would watch it like it was dodgeball or something of, like you said, like, or it's just there's going into it. This is a comedy where Mighty Ducks was actually like, it was like Rudy for kids.
Yeah.
It was like a triumphant story that resonated with like emotions and stuff like that, where it's like, take away the ice and make it floor hockey, everybody's just like, what a
it's
joke.
just silly.
Yeah.
It's
like,
just at its best. It's just silly.
Now,
But-
can we have a referee that kind of like corroborates with some bad parents to try to like rig some games?
yeah, what if there was real bribes
Yeah,
going on?
that,
You could
yeah.
bribe them with like a case of beer, those
Yeah,
kids.
exactly.
Right.
Like, hey man, we got this little baggie here. You interested? Like,
So there's
all
like
you gotta
the
do is just
referees that are
call the
like
goal.
out on the floor, and then there's like the timekeeper and scorekeepers
Oh,
that would
so
like
there's a lot more people to bribe.
control like. I mean,
Too many checks
just
and
depends on-
balances is what you're saying. There's too many checks and balances on the floor hockey
It's too many
court.
eyes. You can't do it. It's
Yeah, you can't get away with it.
very fairly officiated sport. We see the shirt.
No, I do remember one example where the floor was like super like dusty and like it's a basketball court or whatever, so it just like hadn't been swept in a long time, and your shoes are like slipping and
Oh,
sliding around out there.
Yeah, well, I've been on
Okay.
that floor.
And
Yeah.
one of the moms had like this big like 80s like Aquanet hair, and she pulls out her hairspray, and we're all like spraying the bottom of our shoes to get better traction on the
I mean,
floor and
that's
stuff.
kind of genius. I'm not gonna lie.
Did you win the game, or did the team win?
No comment. I don't,
The bunch of people standing up against a bunch of
You
people
got a
falling
trophy.
down.
You got a trophy to protect. You can't tell me what happened there. No, but that's the kind of stuff we need in here. Is we need some greasy.
yeah, there's
we
some
need an
shady-
edge. How are we
shady
going to get
dealings
it?
here?
Yeah.
Well, I think that's we kind of come to find out that the team that is so great, maybe that's part of why. Like find out that maybe they've been like
Literally,
cheating
it's
this whole
it's the
time.
moms. They've been hairspraying their shoes for like 7 years, and they tell all their friends with the younger kids, and then they do it too.
Right.
And it
That's
just
the secret.
and they So what? I know we're kind of telling this story kind of all at once, but I'm just trying to think of like there'd have to be that would have to come to light, or maybe something would happen. We just refinished the floor, and now it's actually making your shoes slipperier, or something.
Well,
like
what
it's a
wax
bad
it does
use?
kind of like
It's too sticky.
it works
now
great
they can't
at
move.
first, and then it just collects more and more hair. So eventually, you're like running around with
on like
a buffer
quarter
runner.
inch of lint.
Yeah.
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 You're in a movie theater that hasn't been cleaned in days.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so like I said, I didn't like commit to any like names as far as the like
So we've
the
got-
team names and stuff goes.
Yeah. You want to do? Yeah. I see. You
I
seem
have a name to
excited.
throw out. I just came. Mullet
Okay.
McMichael. He's a captain of one of the teams. Maybe he's on defense.
Mullet McMichael. He's
Mullet
like
McMichaels.
the all-star standout player to look out for.
Yeah, he does. All American.
Yeah.
Whatever that means to floor hockey.
I think it's all
I
American.
think there's got to be.
I don't know if
like,
floor hockey's going on anywhere
There's
else.
not
definitely
going to
got to be
Canada.
stat keeper and like an announcer, and they're both like way more into it than either of them. Like,
Oh man, is
Should be.
floor hockey like banned in Canada?
I'm
not
sure
at
they
all.
don't like it.
against
They
it? Not at
can't
all.
like it.
No, like I said, there's some international tournaments, so you get teams that like I remember going to Canada at one point and like playing in tournaments over there.
Was it like underground,
Yeah,
like in a
yeah,
shady
so-
building?
It's always like in a school or community center or something, you
Alright.
know.
Yeah.
But they would stagger those games where you might play, first thing in the morning, and then, in the middle of the afternoon, and then at nighttime suit. So you're like literally there all day long, and sometimes they have like concession stands and stuff. But I remember like the parents would make it like more of a tailgate like party kind of thing.
Yeah,
They
you used to
bring
have
a
somebody out there
cooler
like
and-
cooking up
Yeah.
some wings, basically.
Yeah, chips
Okay.
and all
And
that
meanwhile,
stuff.
the refs are living off like popcorn and
Yeah,
nachos.
this hot dog fell on the floor. He can have it if you want.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, let's put a little more ketchup on it.
Right. So we're getting to kind of like towards the end of the.
All right, well, I have
Okay.
something to pitch to you then. What if, and this is, we'll just treat this as an aside. What if there was an adult league and they had their own arena? And like we're just picturing this as just they've gone like all in, like it's just all the money's poured into this. Like one thing I always thought was kind of a funny idea is if you had like breakaway boards, essentially. Like somebody gets hit into like, the boards, and it's just like the glass pops out. It doesn't shatter, obviously. It's safe, air quotes. But like, what kind of atmosphere would that be? Like, do you have anything that even comes close?
If it became pro wrestling?
Yeah, kind of. Like, wouldn't that be fun?
I tell you, the tailgating would take it up a notch.
Yeah, it
quick.
would. Exactly. You get the Stone Cold Steve Austins out there, like against like whatever else.
So one of the rules is like you can't raise your stick above like waist high level. So slap shots are kind of out of the picture, but wrist shots, like you can get some like speed going on those, and sometimes they would fly like out into the crowd. So I've seen more than a couple people get hit with pucks, and especially if you're not paying attention. But like I said, they're like hollow plastic, so even if it's like moving fast, it's not really like dangerous, but it's still funny.
Except for that one story,
right?
The tragedy of what was his name? Do we have a name for him?
Which one?
The legendary
Mullet
guy.
McMichaels.
Oh no! The guy,
he's our all-star defenseman.
The guy that needs to come save the team eventually in the movie, who lives out in the woods, or would if he wasn't too afraid of him.
It's got to be a pun. I don't know why. It just like that's the way I feel. So like, do we have any puns for him? It could even be like first name and like silly last name. I don't know. So if it's like hockey, it's like you could even call him like Hook Murphy. I don't know. There we go.
Well, you said the wrist shot was the big killer,
Yes.
so I think he's got to be So they got to call him like Hook Murphy or
he put way too dangerous of a hook on his hockey stick. If you know what I mean, he like curved it too much.
That's the one thing.
Because kids would bend them.
Yeah,
Yep,
you bend
exactly.
the stick, so that's what he does. Is he highlights it. He bends it enough and he works the curve, and it becomes a thing where like maybe they even had to change a rule over it, and he just walked away.
Yeah.
He's trying to do the fastest
Develop
wrist
too
shot.
much speed.
They like get the speed gun on it, and they're just like, it's so fast. Boom!
It goes in the. It was actually a goal, but it burns through the back of the net and like hits
kills his
somebody
wife
behind him, behind the net.
That's where
pretty messed up.
That's where he flew too close to the sun and he bent the stick too much, so it broke on the shot and it went way off to the side, off target.
Okay, so one half just goes this way, just like takes someone
the
out.
curve. He just flew way too close to the sun, trying to push his limits, and lost everything.
Right.
Is what I think happened, and now he's gone. Like I said, they changed a rule. Like they literally should have a rule in the rule book that's called like the Hook McMurphy rule.
The Hook
rule.
Murphy, the Hook Murphy rule.
And it's strictly
this circumference.
So everybody's reminded. Every referee has read that name. Everybody knows of the tragedy, and it comes down to the dad having to seek him out and just essentially be like, but what if we just didn't bend it so much? Like, what if we just didn't?
No! It's Hook Murphy!
Even with how much I bent it, you could barely call it a hook.
Like, that's just a curve. Are you Curve Murphy or are you a Hook Murphy?
Kind of like Curve Murphy too, though.
Yeah.
What if that was like his brother? He had like the opposite approach, and they were like basically like clashing over that. They were like had this lifelong feud over the hook bending.
I feel like when he would make his return, he would walk in and like all the dads would be like yelling at the referees, and then they'd see him and they'd all shut up because they all maybe were there or knew that it's like this guy doesn't fuck around, or whatever. And like they all like nobody will make eye contact with him. The dads
that's Hook Murphy, right?
And that's where like maybe the dad in our story that took over to coach the team like now stands tall. Like that's right, everybody shut the fuck up.
His wife and son died in a tragic hooking incident.
Right.
Oh, that sounds bad.
Codeface on Twitch says tragedy of Mad Mullet Murphy, because he would go mad. I think that's what it'd have to be.
Mad Mullet McMurphy.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's our defenseman. I like it.
Well, obviously he comes in to whip the dad in shape, and I think most of it is him having the confidence to shut down the parents. I think that's probably what it is. I think the dad goes in. He's the new guy in town. People are literally at the gas station like, "Hey, you coach floor hockey?" He's like, "Yeah, that's me," and they're like, "Fuck you!" And he's just
you still run the Radio Shack?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, maybe I'll come by. It's like,
So that's the way I'm picturing it, is that there's many struggles. You have the kid who he doesn't know the game. He's just trying to make friends and maybe look cool in front of the older brother. The older brother, there's probably a love interest. He's trying to impress some girl. Like there's more to it. He needs to win this. The team's got to do well.
Yeah.
And then there's the household set weird because the dad and the son are both invested in the same game, and the wife is just like, I'm glad you guys are doing it, but please don't be sulking around the house.
Well, and I think
It's
like
drying me out.
I think the boys and the dad like get so into it and they spend so much time about it that, and then like kind of leave her on the back burner, or like she doesn't get as much attention. But it turns out that maybe like she used to play field hockey and like has like this like special.
I was saying,
like,
it should be
play
even
that she
better.
could
It should
do
be like
or whatever.
lacrosse. Like she played professional lacrosse. And she's just at home.
And she could have
Like,
told
what's
you this
going on
whole
here?
time if you
She's an amazing athlete.
Yeah.
Just like an
Decorated, but
Olympian.
it doesn't translate.
Gold medal in lacrosse.
Yeah.
She's like, why haven't you asked me to come by? Like,
So
we didn't think of it.
Codeface has another suggestion. He says it needs a scene where there's an underground beer belly league made up of guys
I love that.
peaked
Like,
in their floor hockey days.
the dads
Yeah.
maybe like have like a fight club after
feel like I
hours
could
or
do
whatever.
that.
Like, okay, everyone, take your families home, and
So,
then like we're
yeah.
about to get serious on these like boards and like.
So there needs to be a bar or something that maybe that's nearby the center that all the dads go to afterwards. Maybe the moms take the kids home, the dads just walk over or something. And they're over there literally still talking about, yeah, but my kid couldn't,
Right.
he got it way past that
I
other
feel
kid,
like
and your kid got shut down
they
every
still
time.
have
I
to
saw that
use the
two-line
kids
pass.
stuff though, so it's like fully grown men like running
So-
around with tiny sticks.
So that's what it would be.
Use the same equipment.
Yeah, same equipment.
All right.
But I'm thinking that the arguments, it would start out of like, yeah, my kid got it past your kid. He had more goals than yours and blah, blah, blah. And then it's all stemming back to when they were playing together. And he's like, yeah, but back in the day, it was me over you and blah, and it's just like, just fist fights
Yeah.
after hours.
You know what we used to call you?
The feuds
Whiff.
are real.
Yeah, we used to call you whiff, and you're talking shit now.
It would be like year after year, like ongoing. I don't remember exactly why we hate these kids, but
like
we do.
father, like
they're,
whiff.
They're always like the rivals, and that just like is an ongoing thing.
That's what I feel like. There's dads that are rivals because they used to play against each other, and they never let go.
Yeah.
But I think I love the new family in town for this one because I feel like the dad he's not getting respect from his peers. The older kid isn't because there's the other team that's crushing them all the time.
This guy doesn't remember the old glory days. He doesn't know to show me respect.
Yeah, so everybody needs redemption, and I think it can all be solved by Mad Mullet Murphy or whatever his name was.
No, Hook Murphy.
Hook Murphy.
Yeah,
Hook
Hook
Murphy.
Murphy.
Yes. So it's a matter of maybe there's a new stick technology. It can't be bent beyond its capabilities.
It's got an iron core. It's hyper hook technology, but it can't go past a certain angle.
It's from Russia. Like it's some like crazy, like it's not even allowed here.
Yeah, I imported it.
Yeah. The corked bat of the floor hockey world.
I thought of a good name for the bar, just Pucks. So
Pucks.
I feel like there's opportunity there. Like he gets it.
Everybody's just playing like table hockey. There's a floor hockey area. They do have an adult league, and it's just I think I've been. No, I'm thinking of it was a nature center field trip when I was a kid. It definitely wasn't a bar. Never mind.
Yeah, no, I just like Pucks. Well, yeah, I'll see you at Pucks after the game. I don't know why, just standing out to me.
That's good. I like that.
Yeah. Well, so now it's I'm picturing very small town, and maybe this town got a national championship like 20 years ago, and it's been the most notable thing that's ever happened in this town.
Like it's on the signs coming into town.
So that's why the community center is underfunded.
All of the teams like aspire to live
Like-
up to back up to
Well,
those.
no, but I
glory
think
days.
that's why the town's so invested. That's why they have the Pucks bar, because the town was just like, we're
put us on the
finally
map.
best at something. So now floor hockey is all that matters.
Yes.
basically. So every kid's on the team. You know what I mean? Like every kid does floor hockey rather than something else for the most part.
Yeah, I do like a lot of like what you're talking about though. Just it's the parents kind of in the background here, where like they had these old glory days. A lot of stuff's got to come up with that. You don't even remember that hat trick I had back in like '84. It's like nobody gives a shit about 1984 floor
We'll
hockey.
Never live it down. Right?
Yeah, I do like that. I'd love to see a lot of those interactions. Just these old, like, never moved out of their hometown guys, like, talking about floor hockey of all things. It's not even, like, basketball or, like, something respectable.
Well, and like
So you'd
keep
have
in
some
mind-
dads that were maybe on that team. You know what I mean?
Keep in mind too that it is like a mockumentary style movie, so there's going to be like
I totally forgot about
interview, people like sidebar conversations where they're saying like, "Oh yeah, fucking Jerry, don't even get me started on that asshole." We've been rivals since
Mr. Puckhog.
So the whole movie, it would just, for Hook, it would just be showing like photos, and then at some point you'd have the dramatic like him sitting down and putting his mic on, and like, wow, he's actually in it.
Yeah. I thought of another good, like, I guess to make fun of one of the older guys, call him Dribbles. I don't know why, but I like that. It's just like a cut down for one of them. It was like, we saw how you stick handled in floor hockey. Right. You're just sitting there dribbling around. What are you doing, you idiot? I don't know why. I like that.
Okay, write him in. Dribbles.
Dribbles. Yep, that's one of our old hometown guys. But he doesn't like the name. He has to hate it, in fact.
So, like, there's got to be, like, a climactic moment, right? So, they get through the regular season. They came on second place for that, Then they get into, like, postseason tournament. And
so we're in the playoffs.
We're finally, like, good at what we're... we've been working on our new techniques. We've been developing our skills.
I think Hook he's been contacted. The dad has reached out, and the team is he's shown him some things, and now they're and even some of the other dads in the crowd are picking up on it. They're like, "Wow, do you see the hook on that shot right there?" You know what I mean? And they're all kind of like this seems kind of familiar, and they're coming back. They win some games. They make it into the playoffs, and I think the real climactic thing would be like, maybe the dads still don't respect the coach. You know what I mean? They still like, it can't be him. He's an idiot.
Respect Hook Murphy?
No, I think I think a lot of these dads were on the championship team, and that's why they're holding on so much. And then you get Hook Murphy was also on the team.
He was their old coach. Why not?
I don't know if he was necessarily the old coach or if he was on the team, but he got banned for hooking too hard or something. And the tragedy occurred.
Like, that's what disgraced they had put the town on the map, and then when that happened, it was like shame on the town. So they've been like trying to bounce back.
They won it, and then they were looking good the next year, and then something happened, and the team got disqualified for they wrote a new rule. He's out, whatever. So he's like shunned, but he's also he was the all-star carrying the team.
Yeah,
that's the dynamic I think is going on.
Coach Face he has a good question here. So like a show about a kid's sport, but in reality it's a bunch of dads forcing their kids into a game so they can live vicariously. I kind of see it as that. That's the way I've taken it.
I think it is, but I also do think that it is probably the most exciting thing going on in this town.
Yeah, I would agree. Everyone's showing up for it.
Yeah,
no, I do like that, and like it should focus very like lightly on the kids. Honestly, like they're like the least of it.
I think it goes back and forth, but I think that for us, the most relatable thing would probably be the adult man. Yeah. But it's hopefully, but it's I think that we show all of it, and even the young kid who's just kind of like, he doesn't give a shit. He just wants to be cool like his brother kind of thing.
Well, he's like on his team. He's going to be kind of the most coordinated because he sees how his older brother is like.
The little kid's crushing it.
Techniques and stuff.
and the older kid's
trying to get the other kids on board, and they just don't get it, dude. Like they're just, might as well be running around with.
He's teaching his dad some coaching tips.
Right.
He's like, tell him to put their weight on this foot.
So get into like the postseason tournament, right? And you finally have a chance to beat the bad guys. And it comes down to the last minute, and maybe like one of the kids, maybe like the new kid makes a mistake, and the other team scores a goal, and like now the
flubbed
team,
it.
The team
all
like
right.
gets all mad about it, right? Like so everyone like disheartened about it. But
Michelle Tannered it into the wrong goal.
Right. So it gives them a chance. So the down to the last minute, makes a mistake. The team's mad at you for it. It's tie game, and it kind of all comes down to this. But tension's never been higher, and all of a sudden, the power goes out in the gymnasium. Like the breaker gets tripped or something. Okay. So
and I'm sure there's a funny stoner related story where one of the refs like started a fire outside and like on accident.
Just leaned up against a lever.
I'm sure one of the slacker refs are responsible for that. So the power goes out, and they're like, "Oh, well, we got pause the game. We'll get the power back on. But everyone, it's like a packed gymnasium. Everyone, this actually happened, by the way.
Okay, true story.
Yeah,
all right.
dark, completely dark. And there's like a couple of murmurs or whatever. And just out of nowhere, one kid starts stomp, stomp, clap. Stomp
in the
stomp,
darkness.
Clap. Yes.
This
stomp,
happened.
Stomp, clap. This actually happened. And it
Electric,
it
dude.
spread through the crowd and like became this like uproarious thing. Stomp, stomp, clap.
And the
Stomp,
energy
stomp,
lit
clap.
the lights again.
Stomp, stomp, clap. And the lights come back on it and everyone freaking cheers.
Yeah, it had some energy to feed off of.
Yeah.
And when the lights come on, who's standing there but Hook McMurphy?
Hook McMurphy.
The big reveal.
And he's holding the Aquanet hairspray and he's like, all right, we're straightening down the shoes or whatever. And
No, there should be a point where they catch the moms on the hairspray. He comes back and he goes, they're probably still putting hairspray on the shoes. And they go search your car and you open the door and just all
Just
these
like
hairspray
cans
cans
fall
fall out.
They got to have a name
She's-
for it, like a
she's-
term.
She's
They're
just some
smudging.
like
They're
bitch
smudging
mom
again.
that just like, you know,
Yeah, this crew's out here smudging.
that's great.
Bunch of smudgers.
they're smudging.
Bunch of mother smudgers.
So that's what it
Burn
is.
'em.
That's what it is that there's the smudging is very frowned upon. Everybody knows about it and you can't do it, and they've been caught. And also Hook McMurphy's back and he's learned to not test the physics of the bending the stick. And he's getting to a
Perfected the
reasonable
craft.
Someone
he's
hands him like a
perfect-
protractor. Be like, I marked it for you. Okay.
Yeah, he's been crafting perfectly. He's been carving them out in the woods to bring to the game. So all these kids have have sticks with like knots in them and stuff.
I've been growing ironwood in that forest for 30 years just for this moment.
Took a trip to the Congo for the cobalt.
Yep. Stomp, stomp, clap. Stomp, stomp, clap. Stomp,
we're
stomp,
still doing
clap.
that. I
Stomp,
forgot.
stomp, clap.
Sorry.
So he gets energized, invigorated, and they end up winning. They beat the bad guy team to win the postseason championship. Okay, and victory has happened. And
Can Mullet
now
McMichael have the game-winning goal?
we go on. I think he should.
Nice. All right, I like it.
Uh,
He's a defenseman, All-American. I mean, why not?
that's good. I like that.
Codeface says there has to be this idea about there being a perfect curve, but it can't be scientifically recreated. It has to be an absolute link and spiritual connection to the stick.
But maybe he used to tell his wife she was the perfect curve. So it's like extra tragic.
The one that got away in the tragic, we'll say got away, but really she was blunt force trauma with
Just killed with a wrist shot.
with a hook gone awry.
Tragic wrist shot incident.
But yeah, so I think that so they win the championships. We're still not talking nationals. We still got the road trip.
Yeah. So that's the postseason tournament that but then we'll move on to like the traveling tournament, the international, where they just get absolutely crushed by the Canadian team. Like not even close.
Just shit stomped, basically.
Just, like different league, basically.
Would it have to be an underground Canadian floor hockey league because they don't approve of floor hockey? There's plenty.
I kind of want floor hockey to be illegal in Canada.
I think that's why
Please.
these are like I want to say like 30-plus-year-old felons that are playing this illegal game essentially just
Kumite.
because and they have to get they compare
sport.
they just show up and get crushed by adults in Canada, and they're just like, why would they ever?
Why did we agree to this game?
These kids aren't 14. They're like,
Yeah.
It's got 30
just
years
like
on us.
chest hair and
That guy's kid was in the crowd and he was
their
older than
families
me.
in the stands there. That's great.
Yeah, no, I like that. Yeah, Canada has to have like banned floor hockey. It's like it's
Yeah.
not true.
So everybody who plays the floor, they're playing some under, like maybe that's what it is. They don't have the funding to go on the national tour, so they're like, we found some back alley games in Canada. We just got to cross the border, and we can get some money. And they're like money games, but they show up and it's just like 40-year-old like gang, like it's all the players that have been banned from ice hockey in Canada now play in these just like back alley like
with
warehouses.
the breakaway boards, you got like them checking
Right.
kids through the boards, basically.
It's like the wrestling, like
They've got this
WWE
up.
referees. Like, oh, I didn't see it.
That's what it is. It's just like the dirtiest thing. And the dad's just like, well, we just lost all our money.
It's like great. Do you know how much that bus cost?
Right.
But it's a mockumentary though, so those interviews with those guys would have to be like over the phone, like from jail.
That's where it all went wrong.
Yeah, if like Hook Murphy's arrested for like having a illegal hook.
Well, no, I see they're going on the road with Hook Murphy. He's on the bus.
Yeah, he's got it.
Is the way I see it going.
So like to kind of wrap it up, like maybe like they do like a follow up the next year. You know, now the oldest boy, he's too old to play, so he goes on to become a referee and joins into like that subgroup of people. But like the dad goes on to coach the younger kids team now, and between the two of them, they're like showing all the little kids how to do it, so they're gonna be like the next
the next generation.
Oh yeah, so like this is a winning team now, and maybe
they're building them.
Even after this guy's kids grow out of it, he's still coaching, and he's like respected in the town.
Well, I think that's kind of
the staple at Pucks,
like where we.
Yeah, he walks into Pucks, everybody's like, "Hey!"
And everybody knows your name.
You know, the new kid is skeptical at first. This seems like just kind of a dumb game, but like what he kind of like it grows on him basically.
Yeah, he's like, well, you know what? We're poor, so I can play this and it'll be fun.
Well, and now, yeah, I'm into it.
These sticks are gonna last forever.
Referee, you know, it's
fine
kind of like
Ironwood.
the circle, like moving forward.
All you need is shoes, kids.
All you need is shoes and no smudging. Don't you dare smudge.
Yeah, I want to say like the mom with all the hairspray coming out of her car should like be arrested, like just taken away in handcuffs.
I like too. Maybe the cop pulls out like a lighter and just like sprays the hairspray on it, and it just has this like flame. He's like, I thought so.
Just as I suspected.
Yeah, grade 40 hairspray here. It's the highest smudge content.
Only sold in Mexico.
Canned in Mexico. You monster.
So
you're doing hard time.
Floor hockey, sport of kings. Okay, so maybe the community center Kings, is that the name of the team?
Okay.
The good guy team.
Yeah.
And then
the bad guys, they'd have to be from, I would say, another community center. So it'd just be like a neighboring county or something.
Yeah.
You know, probably.
I feel like they're from like the.
Yeah, it has to be some kind of like. Yeah, I was gonna say it has to be some kind of rich, hoity-toity, like whatever.
Lots of collared sweaters.
Yeah, and like obviously you can think like the Valley, like you just call them like the Valley kids are coming in here with their
geese.
Yeah, they're coming in with their nice.
Yeah, that's what it is. No,
sticks.
literally the golden geese.
Yeah,
or like that's a good one. Silver spoons.
I like it.
You know,
the shrine of the silver monkey.
But yeah, that's
the Goldville golden geese.
I still think that on the road, there's got to be some like staying in hotels or sleeping on the bus shenanigans. Hook McMurphy looks like a homeless guy. He's probably missing an eye. You know?
Yeah, right.
So I'm picturing that being like
just like running amok up and down the halls of the hotel room.
Well, just a bunch of. I mean, what age did you say?
So
these kids are the older kids.
The main team.
The older kid's the one on the road.
Yeah,
so
14.
Picture a bus full of 13, 14-year-old kids. The dad's driving it. He's also the coach. Like they rented some big like bus or whatever. And Hook McMurphy. And just the shenanigans you would get into at 13 and 14 on you guys are kings.
I like one game maybe ending in a no contest because the referee was arrested. But I don't know if we're open to that. Maybe they have to make up a game later for like this happens. They have to make up the game later, and it's a big deal to the story. I don't know. I kind of like that. They just show up like, "Where's the referee?" Like he was arrested. Like so nobody can just get his shirt on. Like no, he's in it. Like he got arrested in the shirt. We can't do this. We have to put the game off.
I do think that there needs to be some kind of drug bust of all the referees.
Yeah,
something needs to come down, and maybe like it's like the rec center owner who's like been selling them all the weed the whole time.
Okay, so the whole thing has just been one big front for.
They're just driving around selling weed.
It's just so he can sell weed and alcohol to underage referees.
The underage referees specifically,
because the kids that decide to be referees show some initiative, and they're the ones that'll decide to. They're entrepreneurial. where they will start selling weed to all their friends through me.
Yeah, maybe like they have to hire some expensive like tough referees at one point because all the referees got arrested.
Yeah, they actually like contract like a security company or something. And it's just like a bunch of scary dudes.
Maybe that ends up screwing like the
all
bad
the dads
team over.
So that makes all the dads shut up in the audience. It's just like some huge muscly guys, and they're just like, "Yeah, good call, ref."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like all the kids that he was like giving like weed to like are now arrested, so he can't bribe them. It's like shit. Yeah, now you got like this big old muscly dude out there. Like, yeah, good call. I see it. It's all right.
But you just see a dad like, and then the ref looks at him and he's like, "Good, thumbs up."
Oh, come on, Ralphie. Come on.
Try harder. We talked about this.
Kids.
So, yeah, absolutely the dads get, like, way more into it than they need to. Like, it becomes more about them and, like, did you see my kid, like, score the goal on your kid? Ha ha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
all
rub it
at
in your
pucks.
face. Yeah.
I got to say, but like you said, it flashes back to the guys who are reminiscing of their golden days.
Yeah.
Where it's just kind of like, yeah, your kid might have done better tonight, but I used to crush you when we'd, because like this town's got to love
let
it.
it go, yeah.
And then I love the idea of the dad coming in who like knows nothing about floor hockey, moving into a town that's all about floor hockey, and he's like, you know what? Maybe I'll coach that team if they need somebody. And it just comes down to like maybe he like sells cars, and guys will literally walk in the dealership and see it's him, and they're just like, fuck you. Just leave. Like they're so angry about that they're just not winning, and it hasn't happened in 20 years, but now it's your fault.
Right. So that's it. Floor hockey, sport of kings.
Okay.
I like it. I still think that there's more to flesh out. I want to say that the road trip, there's some shenanigans. That would be a big chunk of the movie, because you got to think they're probably got to go many states, many hotel rooms, other rivals. These kids are right around the age where there's budding love interests,
so
things
you're
like
thinking
that.
Like one big bus with all the kids on it, or like
the older brothers team age.
Yeah.
I think that's the team that does well enough that they're leaving their state, they're taking it on the road, and
they have like high hopes. Like, oh, we're finally doing good. We won our last tournament. We're gonna like do really good in this one.
They're rock stars,
and they just get wiped the floor.
Because you got to think
destroyed in Canada.
You got to think in a town like that, if you are the one team that actually hits like championship level, where you're leaving, you're the best in the area. So now you've got state championships, and now you're going on the road. You guys are the rock stars for the year. If all the dads care about that, they'd be like, yeah, did you see the 13-14 grade this year? It's just like, and why would you care?
Once again, this isn't football. This isn't, like...
It's not respectable.
This is not a very...
Yeah. But this is, like I said, it's a town that literally nothing has happened ever.
Yeah.
Except
so just get,
once.
Like the old timers that sit around and talk about
they won
what team's going to be good this year.
They won
coming up.
They won the championships all because of Hook McMurphy. And he carried them to the top. And then the following season, his ego had inflated so much, he couldn't stop bending the stick, and it killed his wife.
He let go a wicked wrist shot, and it like wasn't even on target. It was just a way over.
No, the stick couldn't take it. It was overextended, and it broke
it was
under
the piece of the stick that was
maybe
the fatal blow.
Yeah, to see it spinning in the air.
The goriest scene of the movie.
I told you not to.
People are gonna vomit when they see what Hook McMurphy has done.
It's rated R.
Yeah, good one.
No, floor hockey. I like it.
I like it. And like I said, there's definitely I don't know. I don't know. I am loving the dad's struggle, and then when Hook McMurphy shows up and has his back, and all the other dads in the crowd shut up, and he gets to stand tall. Of like,
oh, that's Hook McMurphy.
Yeah.
He's back.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not bad.
So that's all I got. Probably won't finish it.
Yeah.
We won't finish it.
Well, we definitely won't help you finish it. That's just kind of our thing. So, but yeah, I think that about doesn't finish up the podcast for tonight. So, why don't you tell them where they can find us again?
I'll say it, but I'm not done.
You want
all right, we're not done.
You can listen on Spotify, Apple Music, Google Music, and anywhere you get podcasts. Watch our live streams on Twitch and YouTube. Hang on the chat. The ones that stopped out by today, thank you. Please
Thank
check
you.
us out on social media. We're on most platforms. That's the best way to find out when we'll be recording our next live stream. And you can find all those links at linktree/WWFT pod. So one thing I will say is that we glossed over the mockumentary aspect. We seem to really be forgetting about that.
Yeah,
and I feel
that's
like
true.
that would be where some of the rivalries would shine. You know what I mean? Like we're one of those. I think Hook McMurphy calls back, and in private, he's basically just like, "Yeah, this new coach is a total pussy."
Yeah, he's garbage.
Like I could see why the other guys hate him. I've hated him for 20 years, and honestly, I agree with them.
I'm a big fan of like the movie Best in Show, or like
I haven't
Drop
seen
Dead
that one.
Gorgeous, and like
Best in Show, you should watch. That's a great. Christopher Guest does the best
Delightful.
mockumentaries.
Okay. Yeah, I know. I've heard you talk about that one before. I do need to check that one out.
Yeah, but yeah, the mockumentaries are definitely good.
Yeah, I like just like interviewing all these random people, especially at like pucks. You know, just getting them talking. Like,
That's good.
yeah, Bill doesn't even seem to remember how I scored on him. Like,
So the bar owner at
43.
Pucks is the one who's like
says it
running
was-
the underground
Yeah.
operation.
And the
right?
Wendy's Invitational.
There should be maybe the guy who runs pucks runs like an illegal betting on the kids' games.
So he's also the
You know,
hairspray dealer.
like-
that we
Yeah, he's pulling up the hairspray from
He's
Mexico.
by the kids.
So he's behind the whole. So that's where the guy from Pucks ends up in handcuffs at the end of this, and he's blown up the whole thing. The Floor Hockey Gaming Commission, they're all over it. The FBI's been watching him. Like, it's a big deal. But it's yeah, I think there's definitely a lot there. I think the kids would be the funniest in a mockumentary style because you'd interview them and they would just be like, I really wish that my parents would let me not care about this. You know, because I think the
I've got so much homework.
because you got to think every kid in that town has a dad who's just shoving floor hockey down his throat. So you're going to have every generation's going to rebel. So you're going to have that just like, man, I wish we could just play football or something. Like,
It'd be
this
so
is-
much easier.
Yeah.
They just got me some shoulder pads. for
Something my
football.
dad doesn't think he knows everything about.
right.
He
Let's go
shows
swimming or something.
he shows me the trophy every day. Cleaning it's one of my chores. You know.
daily.
Yeah. But no, I liked it. Do you plan on coming back? Do you want to come back and hear our movies?
Sure. Yeah, I think I will.
I like the three. I like the three mics. It makes it less pressure.
Yep, a little bit.
Before it was every time Spaceman was talking, I'd be like, as soon as he's done talking, I need to say something. As soon as he's done talking, I need to start talking. It's good with three. You can bide your time a little bit.
Yep.
Well, thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. I'm gonna click this little button over here, but yeah,
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.